Welcome to Developing the Leader Within podcast, the podcast that brings you leadership insights from the brightest minds shaping our world. Join us as we dive into conversation with trailblazers, innovators, and change makers, spanning every corner of the globe. Get ready to explore new perspectives, gain actionable insights, and become the leader the world needs today. Unleash your potential. Tune into Developing the Leader Within podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Let's embark on this transformative journey together. Developing the Leader Within podcast, leading beyond limits.
Welcome back, everyone. If you haven't subscribed, please do so right now, as it will help us get our show to others and help us get to our next milestone. Make sure to catch us streaming on Parade Deck, on Roku and Amazon Fire TV on the Purpose Place Network, and catch our exclusive members-only content Going Deeper Within on the Lions Guide Academy. Today, we are speaking with Michelle Quick. Michelle is a mental health consultant, cognitive therapist, and inspirational speaker. I know she's inspired me many a times. She helps individuals feeling emotionally exhausted and disconnected, especially women and leaders who neglect self-care due to responsibilities, transform from overwhelm and anxiety to a place of emotional freedom and inner joy. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Enrique. It's a pleasure, and thank you for having me. It's really an honor.
Folks, today we will be speaking about leaders. Take the reins on your mental health today, because tomorrow's never promised, but you could do something about today. But before we get into that conversation, Michelle, tell us a little bit about you.
With what you started with is a pretty good summary of my passion. That sums it up, the professional side. So I won't go into that. About me, I think we are two people in the world that I know of, the most crazy, corgi, out of fitting nowhere is my husband and me. No, I do have a tribe, but why do I say that? It's because it took me a long time to find my tribe, and I found my tribe actually on LinkedIn. The thing is that I see things from a different perspective, and I think you are one of those people too, aren't you? We tend to do that. And what do I mean by that? I see people. I see them from a perspective of that they can, and that they have opportunity, and I have a hope for them. So this is where my passion comes from. Now, where do I have that vision from? It's because I've been through a lot myself. I've mentioned it a bunch of times. I've been through hell. A lot of us have. So I'm not special. It's just that I use my story to actually bring down taboos and actually shed a light for all the other people that I was going to say are not special, because we are a lot of people who have been through hell. But there is a way out of that hell. So that's my background. That's not that I went through hell, but I've experienced firsthand stress, neglect, a really hard childhood because I had a sick mom, and my father died at a young age. And then later, I just kept on going into a bad relationship, domestic violence, and so on, until I met my husband. So I made a choice, made a decision that it wasn't going to be me, and I got a daughter, so I was fighting for her. And then I just started taking education on education on education, really to understand myself. And never being really good at helping myself, I had to use it to something good. So that's why I'm really passionate and have this fire in me to really help people. So yeah, and I'm a mother, of course. I have my daughter, she's 18 now, and my son, that's 12.
And I am so happy that you have overcome and now are helping others overcome as well. You know, we have a saying that you take your test and make it a testimony, right?
Mm.
And, you know, these stories of overcoming are very crucial to those that are going through those personal hells, right? Because everybody's hell looks different, but you're going through it, right? And so, thank you for all that you have gone through and overcome,
Mm.
because now you're helping so many. Now, we're talking about mental health. The reason why is that leaders really don't take the time to focus on themselves, right? You mentioned the education to, know myself and to learn about me. Leaders don't do it. Let's just say it, right? They're too
A lot of
busy
them don't.
going,
No.
doing, and leading people this and that and the other, that they go by the wayside. So I wanted to ask you, why is it so important for leaders to prioritize their mental health, especially in high pressure roles?
First of all, I think it's just a world problem. It's not only a society problem, it's a world problem. It's how we were brought up. We're brought up to be workers. We're brought up to do the work, to fit in, and to be quiet and just go. So we're not brought up to actually think about how we actually thrive in that. In some societies, and especially if your parents are entrepreneurs or in some way have their own, you learn these things. Of course, my children learn these things. So it is a society problem. But why it is as a, I don't think it's only leaders. I think because I work as a social worker too, and I see people that are not the leaders, but they don't take care of themselves. So it's not only important for leaders, it's important for all of us. But why it's especially important for leaders is because what a leader does, everyone else looks at. So if you want change in your organization, you have to change yourself. It doesn't, monkey see, monkey do. And there's no way around it. You cannot tell a person what to do, you can show them. So going, yeah, so that's it. Being the change is the right way to actually being a leader. And it's difficult. And again, going back to the taboo, being and also societies and cultures, because in some cultures you are brought up to that you should be strong and strong, or men don't cry, boys don't cry, girls they cry and play with dolls. And we are still there in some societies, even though that we are fighting and girl power and men are allowed to be feeling and everything, we still have some coming up. I see it in my son that's 12, and sometimes he comes home and he said, "That's a girl thing." And I go, "No, that's a human thing." So the importance of people actually going inwards and looking at themselves to be a good leader is how much do they want the organization to actually evolve? Because if they stop evolving, the organization will stop evolve and the return will fall, and then there's no money. So yeah.
Yeah, and leaders have to often be reminded that they are the light in the darkness of the world, right? They
Yeah.
are the ones that are put in a position where they can provide some guidance to others that are looking for that guidance. And
Yeah.
if you don't take care of you and you're always taking care of somebody else, what happens when you are no longer there? And that's
Yeah.
the point, right? Treat yourself kind enough to help you get a chance at tomorrow and not let it all happen today. So, what are some early warning signs for leaders that they often overlook when their mental health is beginning to decline?
Feeling pressured, quick to snap, taking quick decisions, being fearful, or keeping away from decisions. That it can be both. because it depends on the person you are. What is your coping strategy? Do you keep away? Where's the leader? I can't find him. So, okay, that's actually maybe not a good thing. That depends. If a leader actually trusts you enough to be alone with your task, that's a good thing. But there still have to be a structure. So, especially that. Now, also, then if you meet a leader that, is like bullying or degrading other people, that's a sign of unsureness, that they are unsure of themselves. Micromanaging could also be a sign. And if they can't see it themselves, I would run from that company, because that's really bad for your mental health. So that's a few of the things that you should look at. If they see it themselves, that's if they should go into it, they should look at also maybe tired, if they're getting really tired, if they aren't seeing the numbers right. Do they have to have a bigger the glasses? Do they have to be changed? There's a lot of different things, but surely enough, yeah, feeling pressured in that. But again, don't we all feel pressured in a day sometimes? Now, as we said, I ran in here, I came from something else, and I felt a little bit pressure. So where does it stop? Am I a bad leader now because I can snap at my husband? Sorry, I do sometimes. Am I a bad leader then? No, we are human. So it has to be ongoing. Is this going on for weeks? Are you constantly mad? Are you not getting things done? Are you feeling hurt? Are you having a headache? Back aches, neck ache? There's a lot of things. And honestly, the leaders, they know. Don't you know when you're feeling bad or feeling sick? You know that something is wrong and you haven't been taking care of yourself. So it's going inwards and feeling, how am I? But that's also it. Sometimes it needs a talk with a friend or a co-worker or maybe a health consultant or therapist.
Yeah, and I tell you that even the strongest of men
Mm.
have buckled to mental health issues.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you remind me as you was talking, after my 26 years in the military,
Mm.
three different war periods, right?
Mm.
Two combat scenarios in theater. And it was like a normal day, right?
Yeah.
But then I get out of the military and I go into a work site
Mm.
where the individual leader was a micromanager. And I had such a hard time
Mm.
dealing with that scenario that I literally walked out. I
Yeah.
walked out and say, hey, it was nice. Thank you for the opportunity,
Yeah.
but I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And you would think that someone with such a history of participating in
Mm.
war and
Mm.
being in very dangerous
Mm.
situations while you're
Mm.
serving that you could handle that, but it
Mm.
was totally different.
But you
And
knew the rules. You knew the rules of engagement, and I would think that you had some orders that you went with, but the person giving you orders didn't go after you and going and saying, no, you have to turn here. So that's the trust. And people micromanaging, they don't understand that. They give an order and then they trust you to do it.
yeah, and I think that that was a big difference,
Mm.
especially as a mature person going back into the workforce. You don't have to tell me 10 times that I do that, right?
Yeah.
But so it was a scenario where even with a strong background in stress,
Mm.
I still fell prey to that stress, that different stress, and it definitely had me going out the door, and I did. But
Good
I
for you.
wanted to ask you, how can leaders create a culture where mental wellness is seen as strength rather than weakness? Because there are some people that, because they don't seek help, they don't encourage others to seek it.
If they don't know how, and this again, learning how and how we were brought up, if you want to be a good leader, you need to take in people that actually know about it. We can't know in everything ourselves, even though I try. But we need to work together, and we need consultancy companies. So as a leader, it's actually more competent if you get in people that are trained for this, because the leader has to be a leader. The leader doesn't have to know everything, so they delegate. And that is the issue, because a lot of people that are functioning, and I mean functioning as leaders, they actually think that they have to be the smartest person in the room, and that's not correct. The right leader knows that they have to have everyone else to be smarter than them, and just find the right people. So that is the difference. So it comes from the top, and it's again, that's bad leaders getting hired everywhere. So it's organization choosing. And I can see over the last, what, 10, 15 years, there's been a lot of focus on the EQ instead of IQ, emotional intelligence instead of the old way of thinking. That has made a big shift regarding leadership. And there's much more focus on that the right leader is actually leading with compassion and understanding and everything. But it always comes back to taboo, anxiety about, oh, what if they find out that I actually don't know anything, the imposter syndrome, and so on and so on. You know, our drive, our biological system is function to be afraid to be left out of the herd. So the higher up you get, if you don't believe that you actually should be there, the higher stress there will be, an anxiety. And in many places, that will turn out that then they say, no, we don't need anyone outside. I know how to be a leader. So that's a toxic environment. So if people want to be a good leader, look at where they can find the best consultants, coaches, or listen to actually what the company, the people on the ground, listen to them. What ideas do they have? Because there's always one, you know, the person that always has the finger up. That's actually me when it's, yeah. But with the ideas, I'm the person that comes with the ideas, and then there are the people that can structure them and everything. So use the workforce and get, and so yeah, in short, down with the taboos that the leader has to know everything. That's old version. The best way is that the leader delegate and outsource and get people in to actually um, um, teach about uh, different kinds of personality structures, how we work together, and because we are different in the ways that we work together. So that's a good leader, and they can prevent a lot of issues, and they can make the whole organization actually thrive by going again and showing I can do this. That makes them strong leader.
Absolutely. I've never seen a puzzle that had one puzzle piece that solved all of it, right?
Nope,
It
nope,
doesn't exist for a
nope.
reason, because each one brings its own element to connect with another, and then ultimately you get the whole picture. So thank you for sharing that. And companies, yeah, we encourage you to look at your complement of people and see if you have those different pieces in what you have currently. And if not, then maybe kind of look at hiring somebody that does fit that piece that you're missing. It's always a good thing to survey what you have, use what you have, and then employ what you don't. Now, companies have a role, leaders have a role, but we all have a personal role in making sure that we are right and mentally fit. So, what practical daily habits can leaders implement to stay mentally resilient and emotionally balanced?
I would say a good thing is to take up a practice of meditation. And meditation, it took, I started in 2018, and I wasn't younger. I was younger, but I wasn't a child then. And for many years, I was going, oh, meditation, I can't do that. Keeping my head still for more than 5 minutes, never gonna happen. But I did it because I had to, because I had mental health issues. And again, you can't say that it doesn't work if you haven't tried it. So I tried it, and there are a bunch of different ways, techniques. It's about finding something and see if it works, and keeping with it for more than two times. So meditation is a good thing. Journaling, putting your thoughts down in the evening, for example, grateful journal, but it can also be putting the stuff down that you are thinking of. I have to do, because then it's down there, then you don't go to sleep with it. And a physical healthy body is so important, because if you don't treat your body good with vitamins and exercise, then you don't have the energy to actually go in and be fresh and making those spur of the moment decisions, and actually can see things from other people's perspective. Is also about your cognitive range, and it all stands together with it. So physical exercise and some kind of meditation, yoga, and journaling. There's a bunch of if you walk in the woods is also a form of meditation. There's a lot of good things in that too. So yeah, that's the short version in a way.
Yeah, I love that. There's some that I do that you didn't mention, but stepping on the ground with
Mm.
nothing, just
Yeah.
let the sun hit you for 15 minutes, right? You don't have to be out there 4 hours.
Mm.
15 minutes, get some natural vitamin D,
Yeah.
get some grounding, release some of that energy that may be not so positive.
Yeah.
The walk. I
Yeah.
love walking,
Yeah.
2.5, 5 miles,
Yeah.
anything to have your mind kind of like ingest what the beauty of the world, right? Kind of clears you out.
Yeah.
Speaking to people, going to
Yeah.
functions, journaling, and all those
Yeah.
things are helpful.
Yeah.
So the point is, hey, folks, find something that works for you. Not everything will work for you, but there is something for you, and it's up to you to find it to make sure that you are mentally balanced and healthy to be able to do leadership, because it is a task and you have to do it and fully equipped to do it.
Mm.
So, Michelle, in your experience, how has addressing mental health made you a better and more effective leader?
It's not only been helped me being a better, more effective leader, but helped me be a better wife, better mother, a better friend. Because I literally didn't function before. I've had anxiety. I had, or still have, I don't know, but PTSD, and had panic attacks. At one point, I was sitting and, cramping because of the muscles, like shell shock. So I literally didn't have a choice, or actually I did have a choice, not doing anything or actually do something, because I wanted to be a mom for my children. I didn't want them to grow up with a sick parent, because I did that. So that was my turning point. So I started my journey actually fighting to be a mom and finding out everything that I could do. So for me, it is so important, and I do the things. And sometimes I forget how much it works especially in summertime when there's holidays. So I need to be careful this summer. You know, when you're relaxing, you're maybe having a beer and everything. Yeah. And then I don't really, maybe the next day I don't get to journal or I don't get exercise. I'm there. 3 days I can feel a difference. So that's why it's so important for me. Now I feel lucky because of that, because I have to do it. So I get the good results because I have to do it, so I do it. Other people that doesn't get those quick downfalls, they can't, because they can't feel it as much, so it goes slowly down, and they get sicker and sicker and sicker. And when they so they don't feel that they have to do it. So that's my gain out of actually having so much mental issues in the past. I had to do it or else I can't function. So that's been my takeaway, and that is my daily advantage, that I do the things and it works. If I don't do them, it doesn't work. If I do have bad days, I do have sometimes it's more, and I've been through a lot because of my past. Just it came back to me. So I'm not a superwoman and I'm not a superhuman being. I just do the things that literally work, and it helps. But it's a constantly choice to actually do it. And that's the hard thing. Taking aside time for yourself, choosing yourself, and seeing the advantage instead of sitting on the couch and binging Netflix. I can do that too, but not every day.
I think a lot of people could do that, but you make a great point. Folks, we have to choose us, especially when it deals with us, right? I've shared here recently, I made a choice to do something, right, in the realms of physical fitness. And I literally just said, like you said earlier, right? You don't know until you try it. And I removed 5 things from my daily consumption. And just removing 5 things has dramatically changed. I used to be on high blood pressure medicine. I don't need it anymore. I mean, I used to look at this and look at it, everything's gone, including clarity. Mine has come back in. I feel great physically. I am not ailed with some sicknesses that I had before. And all I did was take 5 things out. And it's amazing. So, folks, we have to choose us, because especially in the realm of leadership, you can't lead somebody for too long before you're out of the picture. And then what type of leader will that be, right? So choose you, put the chips on you, do some things for you so that you can provide for others. Now, Michelle, you have things going on. You're working the space, which congratulations. I know that was recent. And now you're speaking and you're doing all these things. What do you have coming up where the audience or the viewer, the listener can follow you or support you?
Yeah. So what I've actually decided right now, I have a lot of things coming. There's a book coming and everything, but I'm doing a podcast. I've been dreaming of doing my own podcast, but the podcast is also going to lean up to a foundation that people can donate to actually, where the money is going to go to people that need a psychologist, or need some clothes, or need a lawyer to, if they're going out of domestic violent relationship, and so on and so on. So that's coming up. And I'm getting a good friend to finishing up my website. Again, I've been waiting so long for things to coming together with court, me being in court and everything. So there's a lot of good things coming. And I do still do consulting. I am consulting businesses on mental health regularly. Still just, having a call and everything. So people, they can contact me through LinkedIn also. I don't have my website up and going yet, but through LinkedIn and everywhere else I have on Instagram and YouTube and everywhere, they can contact me, and I do consultant work.
Folks, we will make sure to have all the available links for you to be able to support Michelle on her current and future endeavors. And yes, coaching is different. And I know that there's a lot that need coaching in a way, but you are consulting. So thank you for that. Folks, thank you for being with us today. Today's episode is sponsored by the Global Trends Magazine, the Outlier Project, Fantail Services, Southern Sweet and Sassy Coffee, Ascend Meditations, and Chop AI. If you've enjoyed this episode and learned something interesting about the topic covered today, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and let us know by leaving a comment. Tune in next week for another episode where we dissect leadership from another angle. And as we like to end the show, success to you.